All right, welcome everybody to the 434 Rockstar LeadGen interview with Mr. Derek Ty out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Welcome everybody. Glad you're here. Buckle up. Here we are in a shifting market, and you're about to get some LeadGen secrets from a rock star. So come on, let's go. 434. My Jesus loving, real estate, business minded entrepreneurs, welcome everybody. So glad you're here with us. I'm excited to share my guest with you today. And we're going to talk LeadGen, all things LeadGen. So welcome. This is our Monday LeadGen broadcast. We apologize if you're hearing echoing and all of that, but we are going to do our best to bring you this audio. I want you to hear from our guests, so you can type in the chat what state you're listening to the broadcast. Let's go ahead and first of all, let me introduce you to my friend, Derek Ty. What's up, my friend Derek?
Hey guys, it's nice to be here and nice to help where I can, and I always like to learn from you too, Jeff.
I love it. Well, so glad you're with us. I know we're having some audio difficulties, so we're going to do our best to make it as palpable as you can for us. But let me just tell you about Derek. So guys, here in 434, right, we're Jesus-loving real estate people. And I know when I launched my career, I tried to learn from the best of the best. They were hiding their secrets. They didn't want to tell us everything they knew. And so how many of you know in the kingdom, everything is about abundance and that we're called to help each other, especially in the family of believers. And so, you know, we talk a lot here in 434 about spiritual things and what the Bible says about prosperity. I see Belinda. I see Ms. Choanne. Welcome, everybody. Hey, let us know how the audio is, because we were having some audio difficulties when we logged on, and we didn't want to keep you waiting. So we're just rolling with it. So we apologize for any audio difficulties. But Derek is a kingdom guy. Derek and his wife, they have a real estate team, and they've been doing real estate. How long, Derek, up there in Cincinnati?
19 years as of next month.
Come on, 19 years. They actually have sold over 1,600 properties, made over $10 million in real estate commissions. They have an amazing team out there in Cincinnati. And so what I thought I'd do is bring Derek on, let him share with you. And Derek, what I want you to do is I'm going to be asking you some LeadGen things that you've learned over the years, but I want you to keep your best, your ninja secret, especially in this market, till the very end. And so we're so glad you guys are with us. So let's just jump into this real quick. Derek, so first of all, just tell everyone just a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your family and your real estate business, and then we're going to jump right in.
Yeah, so I actually started in the corporate world right out of college. So I got a 4-year bachelor's degree in business management. My mom and dad thought, hey, go out and, make it happen in the corporate world. So that's what I tried for the first 6 years or so. I went into corporate America. I had some pretty, cool jobs, but I always hated corporate America, honestly. I felt like a rat in a cage in the cubicle city, like Dilbert, office, shows. I mean, that was me. I just felt like I was just never going to go anywhere. And so I think big part of it is I love to just think independently. I like to create ideas and marketing strategies. And I didn't want to wait through 30 layers of bureaucracy. So in 2004, I got my real estate license, and my wife got her license, and we developed a marketing system for LeadGen that got us so many leads in 2004 and 2005 that we had to start a team because we physically just couldn't handle all the leads ourselves. And over the last 19 years, we sold about 1,600 homes. I've written 2 books, co-authored 2 other books, one that you're in with me coming up soon. And I was the Realtor of the Year here in our local market. I was the president of the Board of Realtors, president of the Chamber of Commerce. And then my wife and I started buying some rental properties, and I probably work 30 to 40 hours a week. That's kind of my thing. I don't like to work too many hours. I like to spend time with my wife, who we just celebrated our dating anniversary. We've been dating for 30 years and married for 26. And we have 5 kids. So we've got a great farm, about 90 animals here on the farm. So I get to wear clothes like this every day and work from home. And out here I can see my horses and cow and sheep and chickens and all that kind of thing. So it's a balmy 50 degrees here in Cincinnati, Ohio. So that's a little bit about me.
Love it. Love it, love it. So by the way, Derek's in Cincinnati, Ohio. And so in Cincinnati, if you need a referral partner in Cincinnati, look no longer. So you now have a referral partner. Derek has an amazing team. So Derek, let's just jump right into this. I want to talk lead generation. And so I know early on in your career, you kind of were very innovative and in your lead gen. Of course, to go 16 to 17 years is amazing. You've obviously figured some things out. Most people are failing in real estate because they haven't been able to develop a predictable lead generation system. Maybe they start doing something and they stop. So let's do this. Of course, we've got agents in all different levels here. But just go ahead and just start sharing some of your, remember, hold your ninja secret till the end. But share some lead generation tactics. Now, we're in the shifting market that the 434 audience here and everybody that's under the sound of our voice, they should be thinking about, especially in this market. So go ahead and just let her rip.
All right, so let's start with database, because if you don't have a database, you're basically just like throwing spaghetti against the wall and you're kind of seeing what sticks. So one of the books I wrote was called The 7 Levers for Success in Selling Real Estate. And one of the big things I focus on is there's 7 principles, right? So what I'm going to be talking to you about today, these things are all found in my book, but also the little extras I'm going to give you toward the end are maybe not necessarily all in the book. So the database is really the starting point, because you have to have a place where all your leads are going to go. So if I just went out and bought a bunch of Zillow leads or Realtor.com leads, or went on Craigslist and threw out stuff, or Facebook, once you actually get a real live person and they're saying, hey, I might think about buying or selling a home, what are you going to do with that person's contact information? If you are writing it on the back of a scribbled piece of paper, throwing it in your car, and it gets lost with the garbage from your fast food trip earlier, that's not a good database, right? That doesn't work. Some people just say, oh, I'll use my phone. Well, it gets lost in the million of other things you got going on your phone. So before you really start serious about spending money or spending serious time, which in my opinion, time is money, right? That's why I say I don't even work 40 hours a week. Time is the most valuable asset we all have. It's not about the money, because I can pay for things in my life that I used to not be able to pay for, which creates more time for me to be able to do things like what we're doing now. So get a database, and when I say database, it doesn't have to be the top producer $500 a year database. It doesn't have to be Follow Up Boss, which is what I've been using for a long time, 10, 15 years. It can be whatever your broker provides. Like EXP Realty is where I'm at. We get a free database, right? So you can use that. Or you can use a spreadsheet, guys. Like, that is the simplest, easiest way, is just to create a spreadsheet. So why do I care so much about a database? Because if Jeff is one of my clients and he says, hey, Derek, I'm thinking about moving to Cincinnati someday, guess what happens? He goes in my database. What information do I collect about him? I know his name. I know his wife's name. Does he have any children? What is his approximate time frame of when he's thinking about moving? What's his approximate price range that he's thinking about buying in? What part of town? Right? So these are columns in my spreadsheet. Then I have his phone number and I have his email address. And then I usually have one last little piece, is the last time I spoke to him. So I can go down my list and I can say, well, it looks like it's been 3 months since I talked to Jeff. I'm going to touch base with him and see if he's still thinking about moving to Cincinnati, right? So before we even get into any real strategy about getting new people, you need to start with, how am I going to collect them once I have them?
Yeah, that's good stuff, right? Basically be faithful with little, and where are you going to put people, when they actually come in. So, I know when I started my business, I had a little clipboard, and I was going door to door, and that's how I launched everything. I was in a community. Now, I don't want to do that now. And so it's interesting. You've just got to be honest with yourself where you're at. but I broke open my whole real estate career door to door in my own community, and eventually had a listing from a widowed lady who was mad at God, and I started to dominate the Diamond Hill community, and then like a bowling ball starting to go from there. And now today I'm not willing to go door to door now. So you've got to figure out like, hey, what are you and are you not willing to do? So Derek, what would you say in your real estate business? You had your database. What were some of the key lead gen things that you and your team really started to tap into that not everybody necessarily talks about, that really started to propel your business into like a predictable actual business, not just,
So here, Jeff, here's something that's also really important, okay? So you really need to think about short-term, mid-term, and long-term business opportunities, right? So in the short-term column, I'm talking about a cash investor who can close in 7 days, like the guy who's like ready to buy right now, and you just got to find the right property. You might have a seller who's got a super hot property, and you're like, you know what, on that price point, it might get a cash deal and close quick. Those are the super short-term opportunities. Then you have the mid-term opportunities. Those are like a buyer that is probably going to buy in the next 30 to 60 days, maybe 90 days at the most. You've got a listing that you're working on. You might have already been at their house, told them what to do to get the house ready for sale. You might have signed a listing contract but not put it on the market yet. Those are the kind of mid-term, revenue-generating opportunities. Then you have your long-term stuff. These are people that you just showed a new construction property to, and they decided, hey, I'm going to put a deposit on that. Builder rep is making a deal with them, but it might be 9 months or a year before you ever see the commission check. It might be a development opportunity where you've got a piece of land and you've got a builder who's going to split it into 6 lots and then sell those. That's a long-term opportunity. It might be a condo conversion from an apartment building to a condo, but you should have properties in each bucket, right? You should have some short-term opportunities, some mid-term opportunities, and some long-term opportunities. So to answer your question, you really need to be thinking about that first. Like, okay, I've got my database, and then I know I need to fill it up with these type of opportunities. The next question should be, how do I fill it up with those kind of opportunities? So let's start with the short-term bucket, right? So who is most likely to close on a property within 30 days? Jeff, I'm going to put that on you. Who is the most likely?
the most likely to close on a property in the next 30 days? Someone that just is desperate, they have to sell? I mean, obviously someone who's under contract with you, maybe someone that's got to get out of their house, super motivated. I don't know. Tell me, Grasshopper.
So this is where the investor bucket is really important, right, guys? So what's great about investors is they're not emotional most of the time, and they don't have a lot of loyalty, which sounds terrible, but they might be working with the top agent in your town, right? They might be buying properties from them. But if you present that investor an opportunity, they aren't exclusive, like in a marriage relationship, we're exclusive to our partner. But as an investor, they are not. Like, they will go to wherever the best deal is. So if I can find out who the investors are in town and I can build a relationship with them, my goal isn't to just be their all in all. I'm not going to be their marriage partner. I just want to be one of the people they consider to get a deal done. So Jeff, if you're an investor and you're buying 5 homes a month in Cincinnati, and I go to you and I say, listen, what kind of properties are whetting your appetite right now? What kind of properties are you looking for today? And you're going to say, man, I just need 3-bedroom, at least 2-bath homes. They have to be detached properties. They have to be under $200,000. And then I say, okay, what part of town? And you're like, it's got to be in these 5 zip codes. Great. How old do the homes can they be? Well, they have to be older, newer than 1950. Great. So now I have a criteria, right? So we call that a buy box. That's the box. This is what it'll fit in. If it fits in that box, you're going to buy it, right?
Let me quick question for you. So I'm sure everybody on the broadcast, so when you talk about investors and finding that investor that's looking to invest now, so what I want to ask you first of all is, how would they find that investor? And then I want to have you roll what you would say right now, or like, and I think this is where you're going. So where would they find that investor? And then roll right into, and again, hold your ninja secret, right? I know a couple things you do that many people don't know about. But then roll right into what you would say are like 5 lead generation sources, especially in the shifting market, that people need to be thinking about.
Okay, so investors, you got to think about where do they hang out, right? So, in my opinion, the best places, actually, other realtors a lot of times are investors. So, if you're networking within your realtor community, you should be asking, hey, what are you staying busy with right now? Like when you go to networking events, which you should be going to networking events, whether you think you're going to get something out of it or not, you always at least make one contact or reestablish a relationship with at least one person every networking event you go to. So let's start with agent to agent networking events. A lot of people are like, oh, that's a waste of time. I don't need to go network with other agents. Wrong. Agents are a huge source of referral business. I've got one local investor here who basically says, I'll buy anything. And he told me his buy box. So when I go and I network with other agents, I'm basically fishing for that investor. So I say, what kind of properties do you have coming up that you don't want to be associated with? Like we all have a brand, right? So let's say I'm a luxury agent and I only sell $1 million homes. And Jeff comes to me and goes, hey, my great grandmother's niece just inherited this piece of crap property on the west side of town and it's like $100,000. Can you list it for me? Well, I don't necessarily want it associated with Derek Ty, the brand. So I would call my investor and I know his buy box and I would say, hey man, I got this great property. You want to buy it off market before we put it on the market, right? So to answer your question, Jeff, investors are everywhere. You just got to be asking the right questions. It could be your competing agent that you're like, well, I'd never do a deal with that person. You could find out that they have a sell box of only homes that they want to sell. And then when they have this leftover crappy properties, who are they going to call? Well, if you establish a relationship with the investor and you establish a relationship with the realtor who doesn't want that property associated with their name, now you've got a deal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's good. So referral partners would definitely be one of them. I've seen some guys even on social media. I think they're with Keller Williams, and they strategically, like they're a part of some of these large Facebook groups. And they are strategically, I see them all the time. When anyone asks for a referral, they've got a whole referral network and they're always in there. So referral partners, and of course, you're in Cincinnati, so people don't need to look any further. Go ahead and write Derek, the Thai group down in Cincinnati. Derek's been doing business there, dominates that area. Will pay you great referral business. And of course, me and my team, we're in Tampa Bay. So building a referral network. So investors. So give us 3 more lead generation systems that these Jesus-loving real estate, kingdom real estate people should be thinking about. And then I want you to save your best ninja secret right here to the end.
Okay, so let's finish the investor bucket because if you want to know where to find these guys, so I already said you just got to ask around at events, right? So like it could be a realtor to realtor event, it could be a lender that invited you to a luncheon, whatever it is. Ask, who do you know right now? That's the question. Who? You don't ask, do you know? Never ask, do you know? Who do you know? There's a difference. Why? Because one triggers a specific part of your brain. If you say the word who in front of your question, now somebody can't just say no. It doesn't make sense. They have to think of a person. So if I say, Jeff, who do you know that is looking to purchase investment property here in Cincinnati right now that I should be talking to, right? Because he might know of someone, but I shouldn't be talking to him because they're a jerk, or he's dealt with them before and it's not going to happen. So that's the big scripting question is, who do you know that I should be talking to that is an investor, right? That's a really simple script there. So
Good. You know, I've got a call I just got 2 days ago from a past client. Can you hear me okay? Okay. From a past client, and it's a $1.2 million listing. And so this came from a gentleman that I sold 5 homes for. He bought a property on the river. He was ready to sell that home and make his retirement move. He actually had a friend of his who they used to fly into hurricanes that got his real estate license. And he said, Jeff, we've put each other's life in each other's hand. I know you're the professional, but I feel like I have to give him the listing. So right. And of course I gave him hey, I know you love the guy. If you're going under the knife for heart surgery, would you call your friend who you flew in the airplane with, or would you call the professional? That didn't work. So he went with him. He put a stick in the ground, put it up on the MLS. 6 months later, didn't sell it, called me back. So that was a good feeling. Long story short, I sold that guy the property, but I found an investor by running social media ads for that property. So this would be more of a luxury solution. If someone's selling a luxury place, they could do marketing and start to fish outside of their local area. But long story short, what you had talked about, building a database, I get a call, and I know you get these calls all the time too. Hey, I'm ready to list 1.2 million. And then of course we do open houses at that, which would generate a lot more business as well. So let's just kind of land on, give us 2 or 3 lead generation sources here, 2 or 3 more. We've already shared investors. We've already shared networking events. We've already shared, what else? What's another one that you shared already?
So basically agent to agent referrals. So if you want to call that a third one.
So let's end with, as we wrap this up, let's talk about 2 or 3 more that you think all of these agents in this market, they've got to have these lead generation systems in their repertoire. And then again, save your one last ninja one right here to the end.
All right, so let's stick with the theme of networking for a second, because if you are not going to events, then you need to create your own events, right? So a big takeaway here today is that you need to create your own market. So we know, I always think about, I was on a prayer call this morning, and it's like the Joseph, right? He had 7 years of plenty, and then what'd he do? He stored it up, and then when the 7 years of famine came, they had storehouses filled up. Well, you might be thinking the real estate market is really hard right now, which it is. It's the hardest time ever to be a real estate agent is right now. I'll just be honest with you, across the industry. So if you're feeling the pinch, everyone is, right? It's like a famine almost in the real estate business. But God is our provider. God has stored up provision, and what is first in heaven is there as we pray that prayer as it is in heaven, right? We want heaven's resources to come here on earth. We are real estate professionals with an advantage. We have God on our side. We have God's provision. So if you are not getting invited to networking events, then create your own. So what we do is we have a sphere of influence. We call it our VIPs, right? These are people I've collected in my database, and I flag them specific as VIPs. I have a hashtag VIP against their name, and I invite them several times a year to come and hang out. And guess what? We buy them alcohol. If they like that, then they'll get a glass of wine or a beer. We provide them food, like really good, like pig roasts and all kinds of like luxury foods and desserts. And we provide them an opportunity to have fun. And we do this several times a year. And when we create those events, you would think, gosh, Derek, those are going to be really expensive. They are. But guess what? I don't pay for them because I have strategic partners that want to be with these same people and rubbing shoulders with those same people. So they say, hey, next time you do an event, let me know. I'd like to be a sponsor. So if you're out there and you're like, I can't do this, Derek, you got to start somewhere. Create the database, start nurturing those relationships, and then create the events, get the sponsors, and then here's the magic, guys. Here is where the magic happens. It's not about the event. You're like, what? What do you mean it's not about the event? It's about the invitation to the event. Let me explain that. So if I invite Jeff to a real event that I'm providing real value to, he shows up, he gets free food, free drinks, free entertainment, live music, playing with my animals, whatever the event is. He's like, wow, Derek cares about me. He's not asking anything in return. I need to do something for him. Or it's just our human nature. We want to reciprocate, right? So he might go, gosh, I can't go to this event, but that sure is nice that Derek's inviting me. So 95% of the people I invite to my events don't come. Do I get upset about that? Do I get depressed about that? No, because I know I made contact with them with something of value. And you know what? They might eventually show up to one event. But I'll get calls 10 years later from a client be like, thanks for inviting me to 10 years worth of events. Sorry I couldn't ever come to one. Now I'm ready to list my house. So it's about staying in front of people, providing value. And of course, it's great if they show up and you get to network and have fun and talk about real estate or whatever. But I don't even bring up real estate at these events. It's just about blessing people. So that would probably be, I know you're running short on time, but that's probably one of the top events because, or techniques, because it involves so many parts: the database, the events, the networking, and the invitation, which is touches in your database.
So good. And I know your events. If you haven't been to an event from the Thai group up there in Cincinnati, I know I still got to get up there and participate in one, but I see what you do on Derek's estate out there. It's epic. And you don't have to start there. I've got a friend of mine, and she hates the phone. She tell me she does about 200 sales a year. And she hates the phone, right? Because you've got expireds, you've got FISBOs, you've got circle calls. I've got great friends of mine that I'll probably introduce you guys to in Georgia that are amazing at just doing circle calls. And they're pounding the phone. But I've got another friend of mine, she doesn't like the phone. And so she's amazing at what Derek's talking about, events. She loves to be around people. Find out what you enjoy, right? Sometimes you might have to do something you don't really love doing at first. I didn't love going door to door in the humidity, and don't have to do that now. But find out what is that thing where there's favor on, you've got a unique open door into, and sometimes you got to kind of play around with a few of them. But you'll find that door that God has open for you. So before I just ask Derek for his last ninja, right, 2023, or if you're watching this video on YouTube 5 years from now, Jesus hasn't returned yet, welcome. But I want to say this, two things. Number one, me and Derek do have a book that we're co-authoring together with a number of other Rockstar agents called Kingdom Real Estate Secrets. See, again, like this, where we give you the best. We're telling you everything we're doing. We're not hiding things from you and sharing it with you. Kingdom Real Estate Secrets is going to be a book coming out next month that we're going to be sharing everything we know. And of course, you guys here in 434, you guys will have first crack at it. I also want to let you know that we are a part of a national real estate update mastermind tomorrow at 12 noon. Tomorrow at 12 noon, it's a national real estate market update. If you'd like an invitation into that private mastermind, message us. Private message us, and we'll get you to that link tomorrow, and we'll let you into this mastermind for free with a national real estate market update. So, all right, as we wrap this up, we've been saving the best for last. Derek, let's hear in this market, what would be a ninja? They might not hear this anywhere else, a ninja lead gen tactic that you'd like to share with the audience today.
So I've got two. I'll give you one, and if you got time, I'll give you the other one. So the first one, guys, is Facebook. Okay, so I am just myself on Facebook, and I've amassed over 5,000 followers on my personal profile, and to the point where now Facebook has offered me to be a influencer on Facebook because of my personal page. What do I do on there? You can follow me on there and look and just copy stuff if you want, right? There's an old R&D slogan, right? Rip off and duplicate. If you see the things that I'm doing, they are genuine, real things in my family, in my life. If it's something I don't want the public to see, I'll just make it just friends only. But a lot of things I do are public, right? So me working on my farm, me going to a racing event, me going to a car show, like just stuff in my life that I think might be interesting to people. And then I comment on other people's things and I like other people's posts. But I can just tell you from my local market, years of consistency doing that, I would do 4 personal posts for every 1 business post. So a lot of real estate agents are like, well, I got to be like, oh, look at me, I'm selling a house. Look at me, I'm buying a house. Look at me, I'm representing these buyers. I don't do that. I do 4 personal posts, not always exact, but around. Out of every 5 posts I do, probably 4 are going to be personal, 1 would be business. And I would say I've gotten so much mileage out of that because it keeps me in front of my local core audience who ultimately I want them to go, Derek understands real estate and he's not spamming me with a bunch of real estate stuff all the time.
That's good stuff. I've seen you. I've seen your estate up there in Cincinnati is amazing. It's lifestyle. Lets people know you're real. Different ways that they can kind of wow, that's pretty. He's a pretty cool guy, family guy. Adds a lot of credibility to your life. And so, Derek, maybe you've got one more you want to share, but tell us real quick, little bonus coverage here on the Rockstar interview, LeadGen interview. Tell us about this new YouTube channel. I want all of our subscribers to follow you and subscribe to your new YouTube channel. Tell us about this new tactic that I've seen you developing.
Well, that would be my last tip, so that worked out good. So you and I are on the same page. So here's what I got a call about 3 or 4 months ago from someone that said, hey, I watched your video on Mason, Ohio, which is a suburb in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I just want to let you know I'm ready to do a deal. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? And I got off the phone call and I was like, Mason, Ohio. When's the last time I did a video on Mason, Ohio? I went back on my YouTube channel. It was 10 years old, guys. 10 years ago. So I did a video about a community 10 years ago, and I'm still getting phone calls about somebody. They basically, it was like conducting a business interview for them. They got to watch me talk about the community in a positive way with graphics and photos and video. And they're like, this is the guy. He's the expert. So I established immediate credibility. So it made me think, why haven't I not done these for the last 10 years? Because they're not that hard to do. So I made a commitment this year to do 40 communities in the greater Cincinnati area in 40 weeks. So that was my goal from the beginning of the year. So I came up with a format. 15 minutes is the goal, and in about 10 different categories. And I'm doing the same format for all 40 communities. And so I've gotten 10 of these out already. You can copy it if you want, use the formula, but I hired a kingdom entrepreneur to do all the graphics. All I do is I record the video just like we're doing now. I script it first. I have to go and do the research, write it out, but it's in a outline. I speak it onto a video like we're doing, and then I have someone else who that's what they do and they're passionate about doing, which I'm not, building the video, finding the clips, finding the this and that, and they insert it in. And now I have 11, I think, maybe now, neighborhood community guides. So who's going to be area that knows everything about all these communities? Me. So from a evergreen standpoint, yes, the videos cost me money. I spend about $500 per video, which may sound expensive, but I was spending up to $10,000 a month on Zillow ads like 7 years ago. So if I want to do the kind of volume indefinitely, evergreen, this is a way that, like I got that call on that 10-year-old Mason video, right? These things will be out there. And the more I do and the more consistent I am, just like any other format, those will return revenue in the long run. So you have to be patient. And this is like, remember I said you have those 3 buckets? This is that third bucket. This is long-term business, right? This isn't something, and you could get this guy that just calls, hey, let's buy a house. But probably Google and YouTube and all that's going to take a while for that algorithm to grow. I have to be patient because this is what we call long tail marketing. It's a long process before you're going to see the end result. But the consistency in the end is going to pay off, and it's building a business versus just doing a job. And a lot of you guys need to hear this today. Are you building a business, or are you just doing a job?
So good. So you've brought us full circle, right? So we started with a database, right? You guys, your sphere, touching your sphere, letting them know you're in the real estate business. And right, notice Derek did YouTube, but he did some video back then. But now here he is, right? 16, 17, 19 years later. Now he's really, so this is not all overnight. Like you said, this is a long-term play. So here we are in the shifting market, right? I've heard real estate business for a number of people down up to 45%. This is an opportunity for you to put lead generation systems in place. And listen, the Bible tells you that if you ask God for wisdom, he'll give it to you liberally. Just the fact that you're on this broadcast, right? And you're listening, which Tony with the business card didn't let me pick his brain. Here's Derek, been at it for 19 years, 1,600 sales, loves Jesus, and sharing with you in this market. You can go to his YouTube channel. So Derek, let everybody know how they can connect with you on your YouTube channel, your Facebook page. Just give them a quick little places to connect with you.
Yeah, sure. So if you want to follow me on Facebook, if you're on there, it's Derek Ty, DerekTye, and I have a blue check mark now on there, so I'm official, I guess, as a influencer. So you can follow me on there. You don't even have to be my friend. You can just follow me, and it'll still give you all the public content. On there, I posted just today my latest YouTube video on Liberty Township, Ohio. So you can watch it and then subscribe to the channel. What's cool is you might be like, yeah, you're just supporting this guy. You may never come to Cincinnati. But what happens is, guys, you're getting around successful people, and thank God I have had success, right? I'm acknowledging God has given me success. But it's his ideas, my face that he gave me, like the tools, the experiences, the favor I've had with people, it's God. Okay, I'll give him the credit. But I still got to do the work. So I'm doing the work right now. I'm promoting my channel. Go on there. But what's going to happen is you're going to see that and you're going to go, oh, that's a reminder of how this guy's doing it. And it's going to keep reinforcing it. You may have to hear a message 5 or 10 times before it actually sinks in. So when you subscribe to the channel and you see another notification, here's Derek again, it might be like, I don't really care about Mason versus Liberty Township. But you watch the video, you're going to start, there's some things in life you're going to catch and some things you're going to get taught, right? Taught and caught. You guys heard that before? Some things you're taught, some things you're caught. So this is something you're going to catch. You catch it. You're like, and things are going to start computing that you didn't think. And now you're going to get inspired to maybe do your own thing. And instead of maybe doing the 40 communities in your city suburb, maybe you just do individual neighborhoods. You're like, you know what? I just like this one part of town, this one county, and you're going to pick the top 10 neighborhoods. And you're just going to go neighborhood to neighborhood. Here's the HOA facilities, and here's the pool, and here's the grocery store that's down the corner. Whatever your thing is, be inspired by this. Catch that grace, catch that anointing, catch that favor, and then run with it for your own real estate business.
I love it. I love it. So make sure everybody you follow Derek, follow his YouTube channel. And of course, if you need a referral partner up in Cincinnati, you don't need to anymore. So here's what I want to do. I want to pray us out. I want to pray for you. I want to pray. One of the amazing benefits we have as believers is that we can actually involve God in our business. He wants to be involved in your everyday marketing strategies, what to do, what not to. I want to pray a short prayer for you. And then I want to remind you, tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time, if you want to be a part of a national real estate mastermind update, you want to hear what's going on around the country, what are rock stars like Derek doing to shift with this market, message us. You can message me or Derek and say, hey, I want to be on that mastermind, and we'll give you an invitation to join us for free. But let's do this. I just want to pray for you, a quick prayer. Just lift up your hands wherever you are. Father, I thank you for this listening audience. Father, I thank you that you said that the blessing of the Lord makes one rich. We thank you that you desire that we would prosper and be in good health, even as our soul prospers. I thank you by the Holy Spirit that what Derek has shared, I thank you that people would digest it. I pray that you would highlight to each and every individual person, oh yeah, do that. Take that move. There's that idea. Hey, go and learn on his YouTube channel. Whatever it is you're talking to them about, I pray for clarity, that they would have lead generation systems in place, and they would begin to prosper. They would begin to take ground. They would begin to make impact and influence, and they'd also see their income rise in the name of Jesus. Come on, receive that like Derek said. Catch that anointing in Jesus' name. So I want to say, first of all, Derek, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. We're so glad you're with us. We'd love to invite you back again. Any final thoughts you want to share with the audience?
Hey, I would say don't get in your head too much. There's lots of great ideas we shared here. There's some simple strategies. Keep it simple, but time block and take action. So if your big idea today was, I'm going to do videos, then just do it. And if you're like, oh, I don't have $500, then go on Facebook Live in the community that you love that's free. You take your cell phone and you go, hi, I'm here at the Smitherton Community Center. This place is amazing. Take action. Put it on video. People want to see you more than what you think. And don't worry like, oh, did I shave perfectly today? Is my hair just right? Man, this shirt might look a little... Stop it. Take action. Get it done. Honestly, people don't care that much about you. And don't take that offensively. They care about what you're doing for them. And if you're exposing them to something that they didn't know before, you're educating them, they're going to take that as the value. That's the chunk of gold that's going to come out of it. You just happen to be the conduit. So don't block someone else's blessing. God is using you in the real estate world to be a blessing to other people, and don't be the block there. Let it be free flowing out of you. It's out of your belly is the living waters, right? So God's flowing into you. Let it flow back out, and don't be the clog. Don't be the stuck thing. I don't need to get some Drano out and come over to your house. Just let it flow. That's my final
I love it.
piece.
So come on, can we just pound the heart button, and we just let know Derek we're glad that he was with us and sharing with us. So remember here, the 434 Lead Generation Rockstar interviews. Remember, if you want to join us tomorrow on our National Real Estate Mastermind update, you're welcome to join us. You can follow us, 434 Agents. You can follow us on YouTube. Follow us, 434 Agents, there on Instagram as well. Of course, we've got our Power and Victory morning broadcast every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Come on. You are heading north. Come on. God has you to go higher. God has you to go further. God has you to go even faster. And guess what? We can do it better when we do it together. So we'll see you. We're going to look to be doing these each Monday. Thanks again to Derek Ty in Cincinnati. Everybody connect with Derek. You guys have a great day. Put this stuff into practice, and we're looking forward to hearing your success. All right, every guys. Love you. Bye now.